In this podcast episode, Louise Perry discusses various societal issues related to relationships, sex, and reproduction. Perry challenges the notion that the sexual revolution has been entirely positive for women. She argues that there are costs to both men and women as a result of discarding old sexual norms. For example, she suggests that waiting until engagement or marriage before having sex can be a wise decision to assess a partner's character and commitment. Perry highlights the role of the welfare state in cushioning the consequences of bad decisions, such as single motherhood. While the welfare state provides a safety net, it may also reduce the immediate feedback on the negative effects of certain behaviors, leading to the normalization of harmful norms. The conversation shifts to the issue of single parenthood and absent fathers, particularly in the context of children growing up without paternal involvement. Perry emphasizes the importance of fathers in children's lives and the negative impact of absent fathers on societal stability. Perry discusses the potential shift towards polygynous relationships in modern society, where a smaller number of attractive men have multiple female partners. She highlights the societal implications of such a shift, including increased violence and instability in societies with non-monogamous norms. The podcast delves into the concept of a sex recession, where despite increased access to sexual content and opportunities, people are having less sex. Perry suggests that the copious availability of sexual stimuli may reduce the motivation to build real relationships and engage in meaningful connections. Perry points out the impact of SSRIs and contraceptives on libido and sexual behavior. She notes that these medications can affect individuals' sexual desire and attraction, leading to challenges in intimate relationships and reproduction. The discussion touches on the declining birth rates in many countries and the potential factors contributing to this trend. Perry questions whether the decrease in birth rates is linked to people having less sex and the influence of factors like the pill and other psychoactive drugs on reproductive behaviors. Perry highlights the introduction of the birth control pill as a significant factor in changing social norms and reducing fertility rates. She explains how the pill not only limits fertility, but also normalizes premarital sex, reducing the pressure to get married and have children. She acknowledges the benefits of using contraception within marriage to space out births, but raises concerns about the broader societal impact of widespread contraceptive use. The conversation delves into the stigma surrounding discussions about natalism and the encouragement of having children. Perry notes that politicians who advocate for natalist policies often face backlash, with the topic being labeled as right-wing or controversial. She questions why the idea of encouraging population growth is met with resistance, and explores the underlying beliefs that contribute to this opposition. She also touches on the geopolitical implications of declining birth rates, such as the vulnerability of countries with shrinking populations and the potential consequences of a lack of young people to support essential services. Perry discusses the cultural shift towards viewing having children as burdensome, with some individuals opting not to have children due to concerns about climate change and environmental impact. This anti-human perspective is highlighted as a contributing factor to declining birth rates, as some people believe that reducing the human population is a moral decision. The conversation touches on the implications of this mindset on societal progress and innovation, with low fertility populations being less likely to drive technological advancements. Perry mentions that wealth and urbanization play a significant role in decreasing fertility rates. She explains that as societies become more affluent and people move to cities, they tend to have fewer children. Additionally, she highlights the impact of individualism on family structures, noting that the breakdown of extended family networks can deter people from having children. Perry also touches upon the concept of the nuclear family and how it may not be sufficient to raise a child in today's society. She emphasizes the importance of extended family support in child rearing and how the lack of such networks in urban areas can discourage people from starting families. She suggests that the erosion of traditional family structures and the emphasis on individualism have contributed to the decline in birth rates. The guest discusses the challenges of modern parenthood, including the economic pressures and societal expectations that can make raising children difficult. She acknowledges the hardships of pregnancy and childbirth, but also highlights the joys and rewards of parenthood. She shares her personal experience of being pregnant and expresses her desire to have more children despite the challenges of the current world. The podcast explores the concept of civilizational decline, drawing parallels to historical examples such as the fall of Rome. Perry reflects on the gradual nature of decline and the potential for societies to stagnate rather than experience sudden collapse. While she acknowledges the challenges posed by declining birth rates, she also expresses a cautious optimism about the future, noting that reversal of the trend has not been achieved yet, but remains a possibility. The discussion extends to the global context, with Perry highlighting the fertility trends in different countries and the impact on geopolitical dynamics. She points out the potential for highly fertile subpopulations, often religious and conservative groups, to flourish while others experience declining birth rates. The conversation touches on the implications of these demographic shifts on societal structures and the distribution of human capital for innovation and progress. Perry emphasizes the importance of prioritizing family and children in a world that is increasingly focused on individualism and material wealth. She argues that despite the challenges of modernity, investing in the future through raising children is a worthwhile endeavor. Perry advocates for a return to traditional values and family structures as a means of addressing declining birth rates and societal challenges.